what the black man and woman needs to know about the nation, about the world, about themselves. Muhammad Speaks It. To order your 12-issue subscription to Muhammad Speaks newspaper, 313-371-7033. 313-371-7033. Kareem Bean Pie is the grand champion of all bean pies. The rich flavor and smooth texture takes this pie to a whole new level of delicious. One bite and you'll understand why people all over the country call daily to order Kareem Bean Pie. 313-371-7033. That's 313-371-7033. Kareem Bean Pie.
This bean pie is delicious.
Muhammad Speaks presents Messenger Elijah Muhammad's Teachings by Minister Khalil Shabazz every Sunday from 2 to 3 p.m. at Muhammad's Temple of Islam, 12609 East McNichols Road in Detroit.
Brothers and sisters, we rise for prayer. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, all praise is due to Allah, the Lord of the worlds, the Beneficent, the Merciful, Soul Master's Day Judgment in which we now live. The alone that we serve, and the alone seek for thine help and aid. O Allah, please guide us on the right path, path of those upon whom thou spell thy favors, not on the path of those upon whom thy wrath is brought down, nor those who go astray after they heard thy teachings. Say he, Allah is one God. Allah is he of whom nothing is independent, but upon whom we all depend. He begetteth not, nor is he begotten, there is none like him. And I bear witness that none serve to be served, worship to praise besides Allah, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad. And I bear witness that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is thy true servant and last apostle. Ameen. We'd like to acknowledge the brothers and sisters that extended us the greetings of Assalamu alaikum. We have Brother Stephen Cowan from Washington. We have Brother Muhammad Abdul Rashid from Florida. We have Sister Hala Brooks from California. We have Sister Patricia Muhammad from Chicago. And we have Sister Nubila from Arizona. I'd like to say in the name of Allah, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, and in the name of his last and greatest messenger, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, I'd like to greet the brothers and sisters with the Nation of Islam's greeting words of peace of Assalamu alaikum. Today, we like to talk about the Atlanta Brawl and a race of cowards. This, by far, was one of the best videos I think I've seen in my life. I really enjoyed watching these brothers beat down these devils. This is what the black man is supposed to do every time. Every time we are attacked by the devil, it's supposed to be this kind of response. All praise is due to Allah. And what made me so happy to watch this video is they was even getting a white woman. Usually the white woman get a pass. But the brother was getting a white woman, and the sisters jumped on the devil too. So this was very, I couldn't stop watching this video. And the one thing that I didn't like is when the police jumped on the brother with the chair. I felt like they didn't have to, you a police. You got to do your job. But I feel like they should have did him like Dylan Roof when the devils took him to Burger King. Right. They should have cut the brother some slack and like, brother, come on, man, just calm down. We gonna just walk you out. We gonna take you to the best restaurant in Alabama. We taking selfies with you to let everybody know we just doing our job, but we with this brother. I think they should have did that. But, hey, we didn't go like that. But the one thing about the brother with the chair, everybody was with him because he was the icing on the cake. The brother with the chair. Everybody else was fighting and we loved that, but it was something about seeing a black man pick up a chair and hit a devil woman in the head 2 and 3 times. It was something to see. That the black man is truly waking up.
Yes, sir.
That brother picked that chair up and hit that devil woman like 2 and 3 times and went to work on some other devils before the police stopped. So this is a picture. This says the Riverfront Montgomery Gators. And this is a little football team of young brothers with their chairs in the picture. Showing how everybody, because they took the brother with the chair, and I think he one of the only ones that's getting a charge. But if you gonna get a charge, that's the charge to get. We ain't gonna never forget that brother or none of them in Atlanta. Never forget them. This is going down in history. So not only is the black man fighting the devil, but our lives fighting them too.
Yes, sir.
This was from Forbes magazine. It's called New York City is sinking under the weight of its own buildings. Allah is at this devil in ways that we would never even think about attacking the devil. It's like the devil's world is self-destructing on itself. Who would think that the weight of buildings would affect the ground to where it's sinking under the weight of its own buildings? Because the thing about New York already is being affected by global warming. They talking about how they trying to build all of these seawalls. And in this article, when you go to Forbes, you can either listen to them read the article or you can read it yourself. But they talking about how those seawalls are not even protection. Because they talk about how much money it costs to build and maintain, and how it destroyed the natural habitat or the soil around where they built. So that's not really a protection. So Allah is destroying this devil, and it seems like the black man is waking up a little bit. Because the messenger was talking about, I remember, I don't know if it's in the problem book, but the messenger says something about, I think the devil was telling him that waking us up is like putting pants on an elephant. And the messenger says something like, I got one pants leg on. It look like we got the pants halfway up. That all praises. I'm telling you, that fight, I went to work. I ain't gonna lie. I went to work and was telling like, you see this fight in Alabama? Brothers that didn't see it, I'm like, watch it. Go Google it now. Brothers like, man, I just can't stop watching it. We all was excited about seeing this fight. I never seen nothing like that. The excitement that black people just looking at black people, the way they responded, because I saw the video of the whole entire video of how long it took for that boat to actually dock. Because what I thought was how the videos that I was watching that they jumped on the brother, then the brothers just came to fight. But it took at least about 15 or 20 minutes for the actual boat to get to the dock, tie the boat up, and they get the pier ready for the people to come off. And they was still had the same energy they had when they was watching him jump on the brother when they was in the water. That's what got me so excited. Because it what they made up their mind when they parked this boat, we going to get these devils. I'm telling you. And the part I just like the whole thing. I like that part to see them brothers skipping down the pier on that boat of them devils that initially jumped on the brother. And when they got there, they like, what's up? So you can see the devils like, oh man, they about to attack us. Then the brothers slapped the one devil. Then it was on. I love that. I love how they drug him off of the boat and was beating him on the pier, and the one devil jumped in the water to get him. I love watching them brothers beat on them devils. Yes. So the messenger taught us about self-defense. This comes from the April 26, 1968, Muhammad speaks, and it's called Separation of the Slave and Master is Divine. So this is the messenger. It says, Muhammad on fighting in self-defense. The messenger says, fighting with those who fight with you, Moses, the first prophet to the Caucasian race, after they were made by their father Yaqub, taught them the same law on fighting. If the enemy plucks out your eye, pluck his eye out also. If he strikes you, strike him back. This is the common law of retaliation.
Yes, sir.
The messenger says the common law. It ain't no specially made up. It's a common law. The common law of retaliation and justice. He says the black man's fight or retaliation was taken out of him under servitude slave by the slave master in order to make the slave harmless so that he could rule him easily without any expectation of the slave retaliating. This is how the devil did the black man.
Yes, sir.
Let's give an example of how the devil took this common law of retaliation out of the black man. This comes from Matthew 5, 43 through 48. We're going to start at 44. No, we're going to start at 43. It says, ye have heard that it has been said, thou shalt love thy neighbor and hate thine enemy. But I say unto you, love your enemies, bless them that curse you, do good to them that hate you, and pray for them which despitefully use you and persecute you. This the devil. Because the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us. He said that in 1555, a slave trader by the name of John Hawkins stole a boatload of black people and brought them to Jamestown, Virginia. He taught us that it took 64 years for John Hawkins to rob the black man of the knowledge of self. So he said after the white man robbed us of a knowledge of self, he said he was wondering what to call the black man. What should we call these niggas? Since we done already completely robbed them of a knowledge of self, what should we call? So the messenger said, they came up and said, let's call them Negroes. Then the messenger said, since we was in physical slavery, the devil said, now let's put them in mental slavery. Because mental slavery lasts far longer than physical slavery.
Yes.
Because even after the chains on our ankles and our wrists is broken, it's hard to break the chains on your mind. So the messenger said the way that the white man put us in mental slavery was the King James Bible.
That's right.
This is one of the ways that old no good King James robbed the black man. He robbed us of the true knowledge of God, the true knowledge of self, and the true knowledge of the devil. So they taught us about Jesus. They told us that Jesus is the Son of God. So they told us the Son of God said, I know you done heard before that it say you supposed to love your neighbor and hate your enemy. But now I'm saying that you supposed to love your enemy. Number one, that's going against the law of retaliation. There is no love for an enemy. It's only natural to hate an enemy.
That's right.
But the white man putting us in mental slavery, teaching us to love our enemy. Not only do he tell us to love our enemy, he says, bless them that curse you. So not only do the devil say, love the enemy, now you got to bless them. That means give them something while they taking everything from you. Bless those who curse you. Do good to them that hate you. So King James is doing a marvelous job of robbing the black man of a true knowledge of God, a true knowledge of self, and a true knowledge of the devil. Because the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us. He said love of self comes first. That's right. And once you love yourself, it's impossible to love it. It's impossible to bless those who despitefully use you. It's impossible to bless those who hate you. It's impossible when you love yourself. Yes. When you love yourself, you naturally retaliate against those who attack you. Yes. So it goes on to say, it says, for if ye love them which love you, what reward have ye? Do not even the publicans the same? And if ye salute your brother only, what do ye more than others? Do not even the publicans so? Be ye therefore perfect, even as your Father which is in heaven is perfect. That's how the devil spook us. Because the white man ain't doing that. Nobody on the face of the earth is loving those who despitefully use you and all that. So the white man drives the nail in the coffin. He said, be like your Father in heaven who perfect. He the one who love his enemies. The one you can't see. The one you don't see suffering under the devil. He love everybody who up in heaven chilling in the milk and honey and streets of gold. He looking down on you like, I love my enemies that's down on earth. So you be perfect like your Father in heaven is perfect. So for years, the black man fighting against his own nature. I was reading about, he was a slave. The book is called My Bondage, My Freedom. And I forget which slave, I think it was Frederick Douglass. The one part of that book that I never forget is when he was explaining when he first learned how to read. He was talking about before he learned how to read, he was like, he would think about stuff, but he didn't even know the words to describe how he was feeling. Like he couldn't even figure out what his thoughts meant. He didn't even know how he was feeling because he couldn't even describe it with words. That was deep. To where he talking about you feeling something, but you don't know what it is because you can't figure it out in your mind. He was talking about when he first began to understand words and what words mean, and he can make sense of what a person is saying and make sense of his thoughts. I was like, wow, that was something. Because if you was a black man, you listening to the devil read to you about this Bible, you don't even know the words to defend yourself against this devil. It's illegal for the black man to read and write. It's illegal for the black man to get married. It's illegal to look the white man in his face. It's illegal to be out at night. You just a servitude slave. The black man waking up, as they say, from can't see to can't see. Then another thing that Frederick Douglass says in his book, he was talking about the food that they eat. He was saying that they never got enough food. He was talking about how some black people were so malnutrition that he was saying that their hair turned red. A certain color, he said their hair turned, because he said you never got enough food and it was never nothing nutritious. You always eating some slop, some hog, something that has no nutritional value at all. You always hungry. You can't never go to the doctor. You just working while you sick. He was talking about the children never got clothes. He was saying they didn't buy children clothes until they was old enough to go pick cotton. Then he said when they got old enough to pick cotton, they never bought them clothes to fit them. It was always some old potato sack that they were just tying ropes around the kids. He was saying it was because he was talking about when they was little kids up until the age of 5. He didn't even know that they was enslaved. Because he was talking about how the older people would keep the children and do their best to keep them away. And you a little kid, you don't know what's going on. But he was talking about once he was old enough to pick some cotton, which was real young, that's when he began to notice slavery. Then it's another story he told that kind of touched me. He was talking about this black woman. There was 2 stories of slaves he's talked about that really kind of touched me. He was saying there was this slave black woman that was a proud black woman. She just tried to keep her hair nice. She tried to keep her clothes clean. She was just a proud black woman. So he was talking about how the slave masters hated that. They hated her being so proud and trying to be so clean and neat. So he was talking about how one time the slave master was beating her. And he said how he mercilessly beat her, trying to beat that pride out of this woman. Just mercilessly beating her just because she was so proud. He was talking about it didn't make a difference how she cried, how much she begged for him to stop. He said as much as she cried and begged, he beat her hard. Then he talked about this old man. He was talking about he was the oldest man in a bunch or in a group. So he was saying one day the devil tried to humiliate this old man. And I guess the old man, after a while, you just get tired, like, and you kind of, he didn't say that he physically did it, but he kind of bucked at him like, leave me alone kind of way. And I guess that ain't what a slave's supposed to do to the slave master. So he said in front of everybody, this old man, the slave master beat him up in front of everybody and like threw him into the river. This was the kind of stuff, that's a good book for everybody to read. It's called My Bondage, My Freedom by Frederick Douglass. He really goes into detail explaining slavery. The white man did all he could to destroy the black man, mentally, physically, and more. So the messenger taught us that this natural law or this common law of retaliation was taken out of the black man during slavery. Yes, sir. So the messenger goes on. He says the black man or the Muslim is like the lion or rattlesnake. The beast lion is far different from the grafted lions, which is leopards and panthers, who will steal upon their prey. The beast lion will not strike at the human being until he sees the human being beginning to strike him. The rattlesnake is the same. He will not sneak upon the prey to strike from the rear when the prey is not molesting or interfering with his peace. But other grafted types of snakes will steal upon the prey and strike at their heels from the rear. The rattlesnake will warn the prey with that which nature gives him to warn rattlers which are attached to the end of his body making noise. This is what the messenger taught us how to fight. We the rattlesnake and the lion. We don't bother nobody. As long we'll hate you because we don't love the white man at all. That's right. As Muslims. We don't love the white man and we don't love hypocrites. No, sir, that's right. Let's add them all in. Praise due to Allah. We don't love our enemies, we don't love hypocrites, and we don't love the white man. But if you leave us alone, we'll leave you alone. That's right. Just like with Malcolm Look. If he would have just left the nation, wouldn't nobody did nothing to him. He decides to slander the messenger. Not only do he slander the messenger, I heard the messenger one time. He was like, he got the nerve to come here to Chicago, get on the radio and mud wash me. This is the type of stuff. See, that's destroying a person's peace. We not bothering. We see you a hypocrite already. You already going against the brotherhood, but if that's what you want to do, we don't have no problems with that. But once you as a hypocrite begin to slander the mess, what do you think we supposed to do? Do you think we supposed to just sit and listen to you slander the messenger of God? No. Messenger said, fight with those who fight with you. Read to Allah. So we fight hypocrites. The white man. He another. We ain't got no love for the devil. No love at all. So if the devil leave us alone, we'll leave him alone.
That's right.
But he never seems to leave the black man. Let's give an example. Let's talk about in 1972. This is one of my favorite examples to use. In 1972, the Muslims in New York had a fight with the NYPD. But we got to tell, we was the rattlesnake. We was the lion. We was not bothering them. Because when you look in the Muhammad Speaks newspaper, in the 60s, the white man used to be raiding temples all throughout New York and other cities. Muslims was not attacking them. Muslims was defending themselves, obviously, but they wasn't going hard like attacking them. So the messenger was having brothers try to have these big meetings with all of these black police unions because we the rattlesnake. We ain't gonna sneak on you. We ain't got no love for you. But we a peaceful people. If it's a peaceful solution, we'll go with the peaceful solution for our enemy, for the hypocrite, the devil, and our enemy. If it's a peaceful solution, we don't love, we hate you. But if it's a peaceful way we can get along, we'll rather the peaceful way. Right. So the messenger tried to find the peaceful way. All throughout the Muhammad Speaks in 1960, all these black police unions, oh, we love the messenger. Oh, but I believe the brothers was really for real. I believe so. So the white police officers in New York, they, as my father said, they didn't believe fat meat was grease. They said these niggas ain't gonna do, we ain't respecting these niggas. We'll run up in their temple when we get ready. So in 1972, the white man didn't think fat meat was grease. So the messenger and the Muslims had no problem showing them. So this is a picture of the devil because this devil right here, his name is Jurgensen, Randy Jurgensen. He got all of this stuff on his Facebook page talking about this fight in New York. So when you look at this fight, you see the white man, because this picture, they zoomed in on him because when they was interviewing him, they wanted to let everybody know this was Jurgensen. This is a devil that got a gun, and this devil behind him got a gun. They all got guns shooting it in the air, trying to run away from the Muslims with guns. This is the we let lion. Once you attack, we ain't stopping until you stop. We ain't stopping. You done attacked the lion, now the lion about to eat you up. Mm-hmm. That's how them, we ain't stopping. Not only is we ain't stopping, we locking the door. Lock the door. Lock them in. Because we show the messenger in Islam. It talks about making examples out of people. When it talk, we should go read how the Holy Quran talk about fighting. It don't talk about fighting like we think, like you just physically we fighting and you beat. No. It say make examples out of them. Wherever you find. When it talk about slaying them. It say slay them wherever you find them.
Yes.
That's the Holy Quran on fire. We leave you alone. But once it's on with a Muslim.
Right.
Slay him where, if you find him in his house, slay him in his car, slay him wherever you find them. You think the messenger wasn't like that? You crazy. So the messenger and the Muslims, the devils broke into the temple. This wasn't even on a Sunday. I believe this was on a Tuesday. They say when the University of Islam was in, it was little kids in the university in this temple. So when them devils broke in the temple, I was reading it from Jurgis' book. He said at first, the devil just bust in. And I'm pretty sure they bust in and looking around like, dang, we just get up in here like that. Oh, okay. So then they start walking further into the temple. So it say one of the brothers came out of the auditorium, what he said, and said, Allahu Akbar. He said they locked them steel double doors. He said at that point they knew they was trapped. We talking about devils with guns. Talking about you trapped. So the devil said, once that brother hollered out Allahu Akbar, he said brothers started to file out of that auditorium. He said the first thing them brothers went for was they guns. He said that was the first. They was trying to take their guns out of the holsters. So he said they had put their hands over their guns and trying to run up the stairs. So they said when they got up to the top of the stairs, there was brothers up there waiting on them devils. No, where you think you going? So they said when they turning around to go back down the stairs, brothers coming up the stairs. So they said once them brothers got a hold to them, they said some of the brothers was grabbing for their gun, others grabbed their ankles to snatch them down the stairs so their head would hit every stair. So he said after they did all that, them brothers went to work. Went to work on them devils. So the devil go on to say, he said some of them devils inside picked up their walkie-talkie. He was talking about how it hurt him so bad to hear his fellow brother officer scream and plead for help. That's what they heard at the police station from followers of the master. Say, we like that line. We tried to have peace with you, but since you won't learn, we got to make examples out of these devils. For all them crackers that's in this police station, you could be next. That's how the message. And if you think I'm lying, go read what them brothers were saying. Because I don't like to get the history from Farrakhan and his people. They water it down. They water down the stuff about Malcolm. They water this down. All they want to talk about in this incident is how Farrakhan was in there and everybody came to help Farrakhan. No, I like to hear about that fighting stuff. So they say. Now this from this devil's book. He said once them brothers done beat the hell out of them police, one of the devils got shot and he ended up dying in the temple. Police came for backup. The backup people came. He said by the time they got to the temple, it was FOI surrounding the whole block, standing in parade rest. I wish I could just go back in time sometime to see how it feel to have a brotherhood like that. They said them brothers was standing at parade rest surrounding the temple, telling police they couldn't come in. That was followers of the message. Not only did they have FOI surrounding the whole temple, They had the MGT, the junior FOI. All the children was standing out there too. Everybody was together, ready to fight. That was followers of the message. So later on, I guess they decided to let some of the devils come in because they got to do an investigation. So he said when they got inside of the temple, they say, Old Testament Pharaoh, I got to verify, Old Testament Pharaoh when the messenger was alive, Farrakhan, not the one today. Old Testament Farrakhan walked out with some FOI with him. He said he told the NYPD, you ain't safe in here. None of y'all. Y'all came and attacked our temple and y'all ain't safe in here. That's what he said he told. He was saying a whole lot more stuff that Farrakhan told. I just don't remember. So then I was watching, I think it was Minister Shabazz or somebody I was watching giving the history on this. This brother said he was riding on the subway. He said as soon as the subway train came to a stop. He said some brothers ran on, and these was lost found brothers, ran on the train and said the police is attacking temple number 7. He said all the black people on the train got off the train and started running to the temple. That's what he said. He said they trying to attack the Muslims. He said all the black and was running. When you see in the New York Times, you see a crowd. It looked like it was a riot going on. They had lost founds tipping over police cars. They said they had an undercover police car parked like across the street. And the brothers saw it. It was sisters. Lost found brothers picked the car up and tipped it over on this roof. Because they said there was some undercover cops in that car. So of course when they tipping it over, the police getting out the car. It was sisters hitting the devils. It was going crazy for the white man. So in the New York Times, they said that Old Testament Louis Farrakhan got on top of a car, had a bullhorn and waved his hand to the crowd and said, okay, we got it from here. He said once he said that, the crowd chilled out because the police had no control over the crowd at all. So then when you listen, because you can listen to this rally that they had, it's online. You should hear all the black people who was talking at this rally talking about how they was ready to fight for the Muslims. Because when Farrakhan got up there to speak, he was talking about how the white man wanted them to apologize for the death of one of these police officers. He said, we ain't apologizing for nothing. He said they came to our house and attacked he said this is a new black man. He said a white man expected we ain't apologizing for nothing. He came to our house and he got what he deserved. That's what he said about that devil. And the thing that make this devil Jurgensen so mad today, it talks about, or it shows the unity that the Muslims had. When this devil died, this police, New York City police, you know how the New York, they got a brotherhood stronger, I think, than any police department in the country. The New York City, the police department. So this devil said that when this white boy died, he said the police commissioner didn't go to the funeral. The mayor didn't go. They didn't even talk about his funeral at all. He said that's how much unity the Muslims had in New York. He said them devils stayed away from that. We don't want no parts of this. The mayor, the police commissioner, all of them didn't even get involved with this devil dying. He just died and it just happened and it just went. But the Muslims, because another part that I like, the Muslims had the weapon that they killed this devil with plus the brother who supposedly shot him. This is another thing that made this devil mad. He said Farrakhan told them, we gonna bring the weapon and the brother later on today. Say they never brought it. Brother never got charged. Now I don't know what happened when Wallace took over. He went up to the death of the messenger. So I don't know if when Wallace took over it all crumbled. But up until they still talking about ain't nobody get convicted of the death of this devil. And that's why all of them NYPD still talk about this devil's death today. Because they say never in the history of this police have you had something like this. Where these unarmed men take guns from the devil, kill a devil inside the temple and don't nobody do nothing. And they still talking about how they want justice for this devil. But the messenger taught us, the black man is like that lion. We ain't bothering you at all. But once you attack us, it's on like it's on with a lion. It's on like it's on with a rattle. You got to kill the lion once it's on. Ain't no older lion say, oh, okay, I'm fighting you now, I'm going to stop. No, once it's on, it's on. Ready to do to a lot. Lion will leave you alone. He won't bother you until you come and try to bother. But once it's on, it's on. That's a must. So let's go on even further with this. This is another one that I like. This is the devil. This is a picture of him back then. He a devil who got out of the temple. He made it out alive. She said, you still kind of emotional when you talk about it. Devils still get choked up after 50 years. Because this took place in 2022. So the devil's sitting there thinking about them Muslims. Tears coming to his eyes. Because I know, being a military person, and it's similar to police. You think you elite over regular civilians. You think you elite. That's why devils used to run up in temples. These niggas, we can kick them around, we get ready. But once somebody showed you, you ain't as elite as you thought, that kind of hurt your soul. We thought we was the boys in blue. We thought we could run up in any nigga temple and do what we want to do. But the messenger said, we like that line. We tried to have peace with you. But since you don't want to have peace, make an example out of them. So even 50 years later, the example that the messenger and the followers of the messenger had on the devil still stands today. To let us know that the same God that was with the messenger is still on the scene today. It don't make no difference because the messenger not around. God's still here. That's right. The messenger said God came July 4th, 1930. And he said he chose us. He said he want to make a nation out of us that will never die. A nation that will have endless progress. That's the black man. But let's talk, because we're going to have to cut it short. This is an article that I got to read. Because this is one of them articles that I read that I'm like, the messenger saying this in the public. Because Muslims was disarming the police so much that the messenger came out with an article. It says the might of arms is the God of this world. This type of stuff that let us know he was the messenger of God. Because the stuff that I say it because he said. I don't say it because I'm so tough and I'm so hard and I'm so this and that. I say it because he said. He said God was with him. He said if you and me, God will be with you. So that's why I say what he said. And if I ever get any flack, that's what the messenger said. That's what he said. I'm just saying what he said. So the messenger. It was so many FOI around the country disarming devils to where the messenger wrote an article about. The article is called "The Might of Arms is the God of this Word." Because the messenger said even earlier on, because this was the July 20th, 1973, Muhammad speaks. Because early on in 1966, I believe, the messenger told brothers how to fight armed devils. He tell us we never the aggressor. He said if you see a devil who's shaking with his gun, then you just chill out. But he said, just like with the lion, once it's on now. But you do all you can to try not to fight. But once it's on, it's on. So the messenger in the 60s was telling brothers, if you get to the point where it's on, he said, don't turn on your heels. When I read, I can still remember the first time, because I'm a FOI. I done been selling papers. I done seen police. It ain't no small thing to see a police and think like, wow, what if me and him got into it and he got guns and I'm fighting him and I can't turn on my heels. So I was thinking about that reading, like, wow, don't turn on your heels. So the messenger said, don't turn on your heels. He said, even if you have to die. That's right. He said, dying a man is better than dying as a coward. He said, once it's on, he said, call on Allah. Yes. He said, call on and fight. He said, fight like hell. Mm-hmm. Then he said, show him no mercy. Now the messenger talking to a brother who unarmed, to a devil that is armed, and he telling the unarmed brother to show him no mercy. That's one of them ones. He the messenger. He the messenger. Yes, sir. Saying something like, he telling the, oh, praise is due. He telling the unarmed brother, look, if you see the devil, you don't want to fight him. He the lawman. You don't want to fight no police. I ain't trying to make people think the messenger was telling brothers to go fight the police. But the messenger say we building a nation. The white man are in it. You got police officers attacking Muslims. So we don't want to fight. But when you do, this is what you do. So in 1973, 7 years later, messenger come out with a book, says The Might of Arms. Letting them know, this the white man's God is the gun. Because he said that Allah has come. And all he give us is the truth. We in the mouth of the lion and all we have is the truth. That's all God gives us. And he backing us with his truth. Because he is the author of truth. So the messenger said in this article, this is just a little bit of what the messenger said. He said the white people are a gang of blue-eyed cowards. There is no help for you against 100 of them who are seeking to take your life. He says, I repeat, fight with those who fight with you and show no mercy to them, as they will show no mercy to you if they get within fighting distance of you. He says, because the white man is merciless against us, God is taking up our fight. Nature did not put mercy in the white people for us, the black people. So the time is gradually approaching. Allah God will answer the call of his black people in America against the attacks of the white man, who is the evil open enemy who has been killing us, the black people, for no cause at all for centuries. And they rip up your black dead body for a show of mercilessness. This is the message. Yes, sir. He said, this is what this devil do, just for a show. He mercilessly, these police officers, they mercilessly attacked the black man. Yes. When you saw, I forget the brother's name, He was the one they were saying selling the Lucy cigarettes. When this brother, they say, was selling Lucy cigarettes, all these police jump on this brother when you already got him held down. You already see he not resisting, but you continue to choke him until he died. That's just a show for the rest of the devils. That's a show to intimidate the black man. Yes. But the messengers say it's gradually coming upon us today. Yes. That God will answer our call. God's gonna answer our call. We gonna fight to the death. Yes. So imagine if you had the Alabama Brawl right there on them devils that was choking the brother. Imagine if you had the Atlanta Brawl right there when he was putting his knee on the brother's neck. It was the Atlanta Brawl. That's why I'm proud of them brothers. Oh, the Alabama Brawl. I'm sorry. Alabama. I got to give them their credit. It was the Alabama Brawl. Right. So think about it. Maybe this Alabama Brawl might unite the black man. It might spark something. It might spark the black man to realize we greater with unity than we are divided. That's right. We see how the white man act when he see brothers who coming to whoop their head. It's a different story. It's a different story when you see a black man coming to fight. Them brothers wasn't coming to talk. Them brothers was coming off that boat with their mind made up. We fighting these devils. Right. We fighting them to the end, throwing devils in the water, having devils jumping into, took the chair and beat this devil old woman down. That's the way the black man should be. Show them no mercy. Because they don't show you they didn't show the brother no mercy when they were jumping on. That's right. They didn't think them brothers and sisters was going to do, but when they got there, I seen the brother punch the devil one. I was so happy to see it. Hit her in her face too. Throw her in the water. Take the chair and beat her head in. So what? Show them no mercy. That was a show for the black man. Yes, sir. We getting tired of seeing the white man kick us. That was a show for the black man. That's right. So the messenger goes on. He says, so the time is gradually approaching. Allah God will answer the call of his black people in America against the attack of the white man, who is the evil open enemy who has been killing us, the black people, for no cause at all, for centuries. And they rip up your black dead body for a show of mercy. But the messenger says, huh, and he spells the word out. So he letting you know this about to be like, huh, that don't mean nothing. So he says today, we the black people have somebody on our side who will rip up your white body and show you no mercy. As thou hast done, so shall it be done unto you. This certainly is coming true. Yes, sir. So when we see this kind of stuff, we should be happy. Yes. Messengers say this is coming true. Gradually. He didn't say it because after this Atlanta Brawl, we might see some black people do something crazy. And Alabama, I'm sorry, Alabama brothers, if y'all watching. The Alabama brothers. After this, we might see some black people do something else crazy. That ain't how gradually happens. Gradually means little by little. Right. So this spark up some black people. We do something crazy a couple more times, then something else take us the extra step. Then something else the extra step, then the next thing you know, we're back like the 60s. That's what we want. That's right. We want the black man to unite. Yes. But the one thing we saying to the black man, we got to unite under Islam. Islam is our only salvation. That's right. Because even I was watching after the Atlanta Brawl, God. Let me explain. I lived in Atlanta before. So I'm used to, I don't mean to disrespect the Alabama brawl. So after the Alabama brawl, I saw some Israelites set up camp right where they had to fight. So obviously every little non-leader is going to try to take advantage of this incident. Everybody do. Farrakhan them, everybody coming out with their stuff, acting like, oh, they want to unite the black man. But the only salvation for the black man is Islam. Because the one thing that's different from Islam than was these other people. The messenger got his truth to the black man so soft, no attention, just when you see how the messenger worked. When you go in 1959 when Hate to Hate Produce came out, if you look at all that the messenger had without the white man even knowing the messenger exists, that shows how the messenger was the messenger. He wasn't doing it for fanfare. He didn't even want the white man to know. That's why he taught us when we go out, just say Muhammad speaks. You can blend in with the people if you just standing there. Muhammad speaks. Muhammad speaks. Pass them out. You ain't making no big commotion and everybody looking. No, just Muhammad speaks. Selling your papers. Because the messenger taught us. He told us that God chose us. Master Farad Muhammad is the one who found us. That's something that we should think about. We had a God who actually searched the earth for the black man. Just like it says in the Bible. It talks about the black man being searched for. That's a God who loves us. Not only did he search for us, he raised for us a message.
Yes, sir.
He raised for us a champion. He raised an example for the black man.
Yes.
That example has been gone for 48 years. But his work is still unmatched. Messenger said, I will be the winner, whether I'm living or dead.
That's right.
And we got to understand, too, the messenger going to be the winner whether we help or not. Whether we in Islam or not. Whether we doing what we supposed to do or not. He going to be the winner.
That's right.
He told us if we stick with him, we'll be the winner with him.
That's right.
But if we ever turn on our heels, we'll be out there with the losers and we ain't going to hurt Islam at all.
That's right.
That's what we got to understand.
Yes, sir.
Islam don't need me and it don't need you. Messenger said Islam was around long before any of us was born. And it's going to be here long after we dead.
That's right.
That's the one thing we all got to keep in mind. We helping ourselves. No matter how long we've been a Muslim, no matter how much we excel, we only helping ourselves.
That's right.
We can't feel like we helping the nation. Of course, we do what we do for the cause. Like I don't know how to separate that because I do what I do for the cause. I do because I love the messenger. But I know I ain't helping the messenger like that. It'll be done with or without me. I'm telling you, I have to constantly keep it. It'll be done with or without me. This is Master Farad Muhammad's praise. That he letting us get a little bit up as we work for the cause.
Yes.
But it's not none of our. That's why we say all praise is due to Allah.
That's right.
All praise.
Yes, sir.
So the messenger was the champion because he the messenger of Allah.
Yes.
We be the winners because we helping the messenger. We got to always remember that.
Yes.
Well, brothers and sisters, we don't want to prolong the time. So I leave you as I came in the Nation of Islam's greeting words of peace of Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Enjoying the show? Help keep us on the air. 313-371-7033. That's 313-371-7033 to make a donation.
Brothers and sisters, we rise for prayer. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, all praise is due to Allah, the Lord of the worlds, the Beneficent, the Merciful, Soul Master's Day of Judgment in which we now live. The alone do we serve, and the alone seeks for thine help and aid. O Allah, please guide us on the right path, the path of those upon whom thou bestow thy favors, not on the path of those upon whom thy wrath is brought down, nor those who go astray after they heard thy teachings. Say he, Allah is one God. Allah is he of whom nothing is independent, but upon whom we all depend. He begetteth not, nor is he begotten, there is none like him. And I bear witness that none is to be served, worth to praise besides Allah, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad. And I bear witness that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is thy true servant and last apostle. Ameen. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us not to do anything to anyone that we wouldn't have done it to ourselves, and treat everybody right, even the devil. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.